What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to review my newest KEH buy. So I've been holding out and kind of keeping my eyes open at the same time. I've been looking for a 28-70 Sigma 2.8. I seen some a few months back on KEH, but they're just outrageous in price. And I was like, well, why is it so expensive? I've seen them on there, the same lens, for much cheaper, and they were both ugly. Finally, after a few months, one popped up. So I snagged it. Before I get into talking about the lens, let's talk about why I trust KEH. This is the fourth lens that I've purchased from them. All four have been ugly. I haven't bought a bargain. I haven't bought an excellent condition. I have only bought the ugly lenses because so far, up to this point, I've been happy. So why change? Did I strike out this time or did I hit another home run? Allow me to jump in here real quick. If you guys like the content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell, and yeah, now let's get back to the video. I'm not sponsored at all by KEH. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not getting paid a single dime for talking about this lens or for even buying it. So why exactly did I need this lens? So this right here, this is the Sigma 17-50 DC for APS-C cameras. So when I put this on my camera, whether it be my 80D or my EOS-R, I'm getting a crop. And with the 17-50, it's somewhere around 28-70. So why did I actually need to buy a 28-70? Well, here's why. I just wanted something that was an actual 28-70 and not something that is a 17-50 with a 1.6 crop, making it seem like a 24 or 28-70. This is within the same line of the other lenses that I've recently bought, my 70-200, my 50mm. These lenses are virtually identical except for the size. They're both f2.8s. So when it comes down to it, if I put this on my 80D and I put this on my EOS-R, I'm gonna get identical photos, pretty much. But I didn't wanna have to rely on putting this on my 80D and having to use my 80D as a secondary when I want to do some 28-70. It didn't make sense. I took this out the first time, the first day, and there's a funny story that goes with this. I came home and I was telling my fiance, I'm like, wow, man, the fall leaves fell. I want to get my daughter, our daughter, to lay on the ground in these leaves that just freshly fell off the tree and take some pictures of her like throwing the leaves up. She's like, yeah, that'd be a great idea. I get home, I come in the house and I'm getting my camera all set up, and my roommate, JD, he walks outside. I'm like, what is he doing? I didn't really pay too close of attention when I got home, what was actually outside. I start hearing this noise, I'm like, what is that? So I go out there and he's raking up the leaves. I'm like, oh no, don't rake up the leaves. He had half of them already raked up by the time I realized what was happening. I was like, man, the one time that you choose to clean something is when I have plans for it. He's like, oh man, I didn't know. I'm like, that's fine. So he threw it all back down and I went out and I shot the photos. So those photos will be popping up on the screen. So the second time I took this lens out was probably 3 or 4 days later. We have Main Street in our small town, and there's a lot of historic buildings, and they were tearing some down because they're gonna expand one of the casinos and they needed that space, so they tore down some old buildings, and people were, you know, on Facebook talking about, oh my God, they're tearing down the building. So I went down there with my camera. Let's take some shots. Well, by the time I got down there, they weren't tearing anything down. The excavator had gotten stuck in one of the floors of one of the buildings that they tore down. They knew that there was a basement And so there was a collapse and they thought, okay, well, there's the collapse, we're good now. Well, it was a false collapse and it collapsed again. And the excavator went about 8-9 feet down underground at a tilt. They had to bring another one out to dig it up. And so with that, I was kind of switching back and forth between this 28-70 and my 70-200, trying to get some photos. So that was the second day I took it out. I haven't really tested it how I'd like to yet. So when I received it, it didn't have any caps, not on the front or the back. That had happened once before. I think it happened with the 15mm. I think it didn't come with anything. With the 15mm, I ended up buying this Polar Pro cap to go on the front. And then I had my Viltrox adapter piece that fit on there, so I just used that. I didn't have to buy anything else. With this one, I actually took the front cap off of the DC to put it on here. They're both 77mm thread. And so that's the cap there. I'm not really disappointed that it didn't come with caps. Sometimes they don't. So as far as the build quality on this thing, it's built like a tank, honestly. Everything that I've gotten from Sigma is built like a tank. This DC is built like a tank. This is built like a tank. The 15mm is built like a tank. The 50mm, which I have right here, is also built like a tank. And so is the 70-200. They all have great quality builds. So as you do, every time you get something in the mail, something gets shipped to you that you buy, you look for flaws. And this is an ugly lens. So what's ugly about it? So I inspected it. I had my light through the back, through the front. I was looking for dust. I was looking for particles. I was looking for any sort of mold, fungus, anything. Nothing. Again, pristine. Everything visually about this lens is perfect. I don't see any scratches. Like, there's nothing. So I got to give it to KEH once again. Ugly? No, not really, but thank you. The only thing that I've really found wrong with this is the focus. Like, I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds worse than that when it's actually on the camera. It sounds like there's gravel or sand stuck in the gears, and it sounds like, it sounds terrible. But it focuses. It's still pretty fast, and it gets the job done. So this lens should actually finalize the Sigma kit that I was putting together. So far, it consists of the 15mm that I'm recording with, the DC, which it's not really part of the same line, but it's, might as well. The 28-70, the 50mm, and the 70-200. Oh, I also have the 105. So this kind of completes my kit for that. Now, will I expand it? Probably. Will I look into other lenses? Probably, because I'm that guy. So as somebody who's watching this, and whether you're watching for advice or just to learn things, or just maybe you find me entertaining for some reason, who knows, you'd have to ask yourself, why would a person want to get these older lenses as opposed to the newest, latest, and greatest? I've never even used a Canon RF lens on my eos-r. I can't afford them. I have what I have. The only Canon lenses that I have came with my 80D. And that's the 18-55 kit lens and the 50-255. And that's it. Other than that, I use Yongnuo lenses and Sigma and no name. So why would somebody get these types of lenses, these older lenses? Because they still do the job. Honestly, I can compare something taken with this lens and my camera to something that somebody took with a higher end lens, a newer lens, and they're still going to be comparable. So it's not like I'm losing a ton of quality. It's not like, I have a ton more work to do post-processing. These lenses are just as good now as they were when they came out. It just so happens that they fit on newer cameras. So I get higher quality through the cameras, better colors, things of that nature. So if you're in the market to buy a used lens, again, man, I'm going to say, go to KEH. I haven't used B&H Photo, and I haven't used MPB. but I have used KEH, and this is 4 times now that I've been extremely happy with my purchase. They didn't charge me an arm and a leg. It didn't break the bank. I get lenses that I'm happy with, lenses that I can use, lenses that are worth it to me. Maybe you'll find something that's worth it to you. Keep checking. Check their page once a week, 2 times a week. See what you can find. And there you go. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Later. Yeah, so I don't got the pink in my beard anymore, so I had to put it on the wall. You know? Gotta do what you gotta do.